Buenos días. Hoy es lunes, el 23 de noviembre. Last day of class for this week before we have Thanksgiving break, as you know. So we're going to get going here. As I mentioned in class on Friday, what I've done today then is obviously pre-recorded this class, and you can watch it sometime on Monday. I would encourage you, like I said, to do it during the class time that you guys have normally, so that you're in that habit of doing Spanish at that time. What we're going to do is go through some practice things that we've been working on. There was lots of vocab in this chapter, some grammatical concepts that we're going to keep working with. So what I would encourage you to do is occasionally I will have you pause the recording and ask you to reply to the question or whatever. So have your finger ready to pause so that you can do some of the practice things that I'm asking you to do. We're going to start with a bunch of questions that go along with los meses. Let me get going here. ¿Qué tiempo hace hoy? And then I have other expressions that you can use to practice all the vocab that we've been talking about with that. So, ¿qué tiempo hace hoy? When you look out the window, what do you see? Hace buen tiempo, hace mal tiempo, hace sol, o está nublado. And then as you see in the follow-up questions, ¿qué tiempo hace en agosto? O ¿qué tiempo hace en abril, or one of the months that we were talking about. You can substitute one of the seasons for when it says estación, so maybe el verano or la primavera, or choose whatever estación you want to do. So go ahead and pause it and take some time to work on those. And same thing for the next one. Notice that there's weather expressions, but then there's also some practice with the progressive tense. So, ¿qué está haciendo tu compañero de cuarto ahora mismo? Right now. So, mi compañero de cuarto está estudiando o está escuchando en la clase, or whatever they happen to be doing right now. So, again, pause it and give yourself some time to work through those. Right, so this is Clase 37. I had intended to have a prueba, but because I'm not there, and there's an oral component to that, I'm going to push that back to the day we come back. So, I mean, that's good and bad, I guess. So sorry about that. But you're going to need to be ready for that when you come back on that lunes 38. Clase 38, in 1 week from now. So what let's do is take out your written homework that you had to do for today. It was the back side of the handout that I had asked you to print. And what I think I'm just going to do is I'm going to put them all up here for the first slide. I'm going to show you that it looks like a lot because there's two ways that you can do each of these. As we talked about the other day with these little direct object pronouns like te and nos and me, you can put them in a couple different places if you have two verbs. So my little shtick was, if you have two verbs, you have two choices. If you have only one verb, you only have one choice. And that is to put the pronoun before the verb. So what I've done is underlined the verb, or in this case, the verb phrase, because each one of these has two verbs. So I want to believe, going to see, hopes to visit. Notice that those are two verbs that are back to back. So that's when I can choose to have two options of where I want to put that. So yo quiero creer, I want to believe. Then all that I have left in there is the you. So yo te quiero creer, or you can attach it to the end, yo quiero creerte. Same is true for the next one. Ellos van a ver, they're going to see. And then if you add the mañana there, the tomorrow, all you have left then is the us. They're going to see us. So notice that the word us is not nosotros. It's not we. We know that the word nosotros, we've been working with that all semester, means we. It's not we, it's us. So nos van a ver or van a vernos, attaching it to the second verb in that phrase. She hopes to visit. I have it bolded there as your two-verb phrase. Hopes to visit. Espera visitar, hopes to visit. Then all we have left is visit whom? Visit me. So it's not visit I. So if you're tempted to put the yo in there, that's what that would end up sounding like. She hopes to visit I. And that doesn't make sense in either language. So the me is what that word is for me, so that's helpful because it's the same thing, just pronounced differently. I can put it in two places once again. Before the first verb, ella me espera visitar, or espera visitarme. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of these up here. I talked through the first couple of them. Whoops. But I'm going to let you now pause and compare your answers to what you see here. By the way, I'm not going to have you upload these. I asked you to print this out and do it on paper. You don't need to upload this particular assignment, but I do think it's going to be really good for you to have kind of checked your work for accuracy so that you know as you're going into the prueba, because there will be some grammatical stuff that will be on that as well. I just wanted to point out on the second one of this that está buscando, when we use that progressive tense, está buscando, there's two verbs right there. One is está, the second one is buscando. So again, you have the two choices of where you can put those. So pause it if you need to, take a look at those examples, and then go on when you're ready. Okay, the next section has to do with another grammatical point that came from this chapter, and actually we have done this before when we first started the verb ser and estar. So I'm just going to put those up there, and all of them, and you can, again, at your leisure, go ahead and pause the video and take a look at what you have, see how yours compares. Is it a state or is it an essence kind of thing? Go ahead and pause it now, take a look. And then the last page, or the last section, had to do with just doing some translations with a lot of different things. I'm going to put those up there as well. Notice it's the progressive tense. We can have some states, conditions, emotions using estar. We have again, that progressive tense where people are doing things. So there's lots of estar forms in here, as you'll notice. So go ahead and pause it, compare yours with what you see here, and then start it again as soon as you are ready. Okay, now one of the things that I think is probably a more difficult thing for you guys right now is that whole little direct object pronoun thing. Those little words are just 2 and 3 letters long. Me, te, nos, lo, la, los, las. But they kind of cause a problem mainly because of where they go, the position that they go in. We just did some oral practice or some written practice with that, and you saw how they could go in 2 different places, but if you only have one verb, they have to go in front, and that's not natural for us as English speakers. It doesn't sound right to us. For example, we say, I see you. We don't say, you see, which is, in essence, the order that Spanish sentence would go in. Yo te veo. Instead of yo veo tu or te after that, okay? So that's why I want you to get kind of used to the sounds of this. I'm going to, it says practica oral. I have some riddles here that you know the answers to, but you're going to see how I'm using little direct object pronouns, and I've made them into letra roja here, red lettering, so that you can see what those are. But I want you to solve my riddle here. I'm going to read the first one, but then as I have been telling you, I would like you to, when I click the next one in, I'm going to have you pause it, read it aloud yourself, so that you get into that rhythm of where those pronouns are, and then see if you can solve the riddle. So let me read the first one aloud. It says, son pequeñas, pero muy importantes. Yo las necesito todos los días. Yo las necesito cuando quiero abrir la puerta de mi oficina. ¿Qué son? What are they? So, I need them is in there twice, right? Yo las necesito. Todos los días, yo las necesito cuando quiero abrir la puerta de mi oficina. So, if you're going to solve that riddle, of course, they would be, and another little clue you have is the fact that it says las, so we know that they're feminine things. So, what are those things? Well, son las llaves, right? Son mis llaves. Notice that I used the them to replace the word for llaves because that was the riddle that I was trying to get you to solve. Okay, here's another riddle. I'm going to, oh yeah, I found that fun animation and I thought that was cute, so you'll see that a few times. Okay, here's the next one. Here's the riddle. Pause your screen, read it aloud to yourself, hear yourself, pay attention to yourself to hear yourself saying where those little pronouns are going. Las pongo, las necesito. Pause it, read it aloud. Now see if you can solve the riddle. Son plumas. Okay, some of you might have said son lápices, because that would work with the whole tengo que escribir en un papel, but lápices are masculine and plumas are plural. So notice that the gender thing changes depending on which them we're referring to. I put them, I need them. Next one, I'm going to put it up here, the riddle, and then go ahead and pause it, see if you can solve it. Lo monto, yo lo monto. I put the yo in here just because, not because it's needed. Of course, monto is I ride. I put the yo in here just so that you can see that yo lo monto. Just the sound of that, where the lo comes in front of the verb between the yo and the monto, okay? And what is it? Es un caballo, right? Yo lo monto. I ride it. It being un caballo. Okay, I'll reveal the next one again. Go ahead and pause it, read through it aloud, pay attention to where that pronoun is, solve the riddle. ¿Qué son? Son las montañas. Las montañas, again, referring to feminine things, so I climb them. Them are, of course, feminine things. Las montañas. Let's do a few more. Here's the riddle. Pause it. And yeah, notice that the first line says, es una persona. So now it's not an it, but it's going to be either a him or a her. It looks like my pronoun lo is going to make it be a him. So pause, read it aloud, pay attention, solve the riddle. Es mi abuelo, right? Es viejo, lo tengo que visitar. Lo quiero mucho. I love him a lot. I have to visit him en su casa en diciembre. Es mi abuelo. Here's another one. Pause it. Pay attention as you read it. Solve the riddle. Okay. Notice that los is my pronoun. I read them. I write them. So we know that it's some sort of plural things, and it's masculine. So what are they? Son mensajes electrónicos. Son mensajes electrónicos. Dos más. Pause it, read it, pay attention, and solve the riddle. Okay, now notice that the verb is we have. We have what? We have them. Casi todos los días, almost every day, en la clase de español. No me gustan. Seriously, I don't really like them either because I have to grade them. So what are they? ¿Qué son? Son pruebas de vocabulario. Okay, y uno más. Pause it, read it aloud, pay attention to what you're referring to, and then see if you can solve the riddle. Okay, notice that each of those phrases that has the lo in it has the verb juego also, right? So, yo juego, I play. I play it. Yo lo juego en la primavera. When I play it, cuando yo lo juego, yo necesito una pelota y un bate. Bate is what you think it is, what it looks like. ¿Qué es? Es el béisbol, for sure. Una pelota y un bate. So, all of those, notice, we use those for the purpose of replacing that noun with one of those pronouns. So, I play it. We have them. I need it. I love him. Right? So, using those articles, those little pronouns to replace the noun that you would have normally used in that situation. Okay, let's do a little bit more practice with these. I have some questions that I want you to answer without using the word or phrase that I have in letra azul, in blue letters. So, here's my question. Let's go through the first couple of them together, and then I'll have you pause. ¿Dónde compras los pasajes de ida y vuelta? Now, that's a vocab word we've had, right? Phrase, los pasajes de ida y vuelta is a super long phrase to say. Where do you buy the round-trip tickets? Now, if somebody were to ask you that in English, right? Where do you buy the round-trip tickets? Oh, I buy the round-trip tickets in... Okay, you wouldn't probably say that. You would take out the round-trip tickets. You would replace it with that pronoun. Oh, I buy them, right? So, same thing. That's all we're doing the same thing. Them, referring to los pasajes de ida y vuelta, is going to be that little three-letter word los, okay? Refers to them. I can take out that whole long phrase and replace it with los, and I've got much more of a compact answer. But don't forget the verb changes too. So where do you buy those? I buy them, okay? So what's I buy? Yo form of that? Compro or yo compro. So now all we're going to do is put that I buy them. Them goes in front of compro. Yo los compro en la agencia de viajes, right? That's probably the logical place where you would do that. Or in internet or something. Yo los compro en la agencia de viajes. Let's do the second one together. Then I'm going to challenge you guys to see if you can do it without me talking through it with you, all right? Here's the second question. ¿Dónde compras tu ropa? By the way, that's our next list of vocab in Lección 6. We're going to talk about clothing and colors and all that good stuff. But there's again, ¿dónde compras? Like the first question. ¿Dónde compras tu ropa? Your clothing. Well, I buy it, kind of like the previous answer. I buy them. But now, ropa, notice, is just an it, and it is feminine because look at the A at the end of ropa. So, yo la compro en Target, or yo la compro en Holland House, or wherever it is that you go to buy your clothes. So, yo la compro en Walmart and Scheels and wherever, okay? I buy it. Yo la compro. Okay, like I promised, I'm going to put the next one up. I would like you to see if you can answer that question without me talking through it. So, ¿Dónde pones tus llaves? Answer the question without tus llaves in the answer. Go ahead and pause the recording, the video, and then come back when you think you know the answer. Okay, yo las pongo en mi cuarto, in my room, or en mi mochila, in my backpack, wherever it is that you put, en mi escritorio, maybe if you put it on your desk. So I put them on my desk. So las compro, or las pongo, sorry, yo las pongo. Next question. ¿Qué haces con las maletas en el aeropuerto? When you answer it, I would like you to not use las maletas in your answer. Replace that with one of the pronouns. And just to, because this is maybe a confusing question of how you're going to answer this, I gave you two verbs that you could potentially use in your answer. What do you do with them? I carry them onto the airplane, or maybe I show them to somebody, right, in el aeropuerto. So go ahead and see if you can respond with I show them or I carry them. So, yo las llevo en el avión. Notice we're talking about las maletas, they're feminine, so I carry them, or I show them. Yo las muestro al inspector de aduanas. Keep in mind this yo that you're seeing in parentheses every time, you can certainly get rid of that. I'm putting that there just to show you the order of where things would have to go if you had all of those in place. So certainly I would hear most people probably respond without. Las llevo en el avión. Las muestro al inspector de aduanas. Okay, I've got a few more of these. ¿Quieres mucho a tu abuela? Okay. Quieres can mean want, but here it probably means like/love. So do you love a lot a tu abuela? Pretty much sure you're going to say, yes, I love her, right? So how would you form that answer in Espanol? Go ahead. Sí, yo la quiero, right? Yo la quiero. I love her. Notice that all of these questions that I've been asking you, by the way, have only had one verb, so I've only had one choice of where I can put that little pronoun, the la, or the los, or the las, or whatever it happens to be. Same thing is true here. Do you love your grandma? Yes, I love her. Sí, yo la quiero. If that question had been, ¿quieres mucho a tu abuelo? Sí, yo lo quiero. Yes, I love him. If it had been, ¿quieres mucho a tus abuelos? What do you think that answer might be? Sí, yo los quiero. I love them. Them this time, a male and a female, abuelo and abuela. So make it into the plural form. Just a few more. ¿Dónde juegas baloncesto? In your answer, take out baloncesto, replace it with an it. Okay, go ahead. Yo lo juego. Baloncesto is masculine, right? Es el baloncesto. So, yo lo juego en el gimnasio. I play it. Look where my it is in front of the juego. Again, this is unlike the way we do it in English, which is why we're spending a good chunk of time on it, because it's unlike what we are used to order-wise. Yo lo juego en el gimnasio. Just a few more. ¿Me ves en la cafetería mucho? Now, I want to talk about this one because notice that there's a pronoun in my question, right? Do you see, that's the ves, right? Do you see whom? Do you see me en la cafetería mucho? Ves is the you form of see, right? Do you see whom? Do you see me en la cafetería mucho? So if you're actually talking about me personally, right, the answer would be no, because I don't really go to the cafetería. Yo no voy a la cafetería mucho. So let's answer that no, right? I don't see whom? You. What's that little pronoun? You as that direct object pronoun. If you said te, you are correct. So I don't see you. Yo no te veo mucho, the one that's towards the a la derecha over there. Yo no te veo mucho. If that had been your compañero de clase that would have asked that, and potentially, yeah, I do see you in cafetería. Sí, yo te veo mucho. But in the negative, no. Yo no te veo mucho. Notice that te goes right in front of that veo. I believe I have uno más. Okay. ¿Recuerdas el cumpleaños de tu madre? ¿Recuerdas, if you remember one of our stem changing words we learned when you record something in your head, right? Do you remember it? So there's my question. Do you remember, recuerdas el cumpleaños de tu madre? And actually, I probably should have put de tu madre all in blue lettering as well, because all of that will be replaced with one little two-letter word, right? Hopefully you're answering this C, right? Yes, I remember it. So I remember, the yo form of that becomes recuerdo, right? Yo form, yo recuerdo. I remember it. It is going to replace el cumpleaños de mi madre. I'm going to use the lo as my it. So here it is. Sí, yo lo recuerdo, or no, yo no lo recuerdo. And if you answer no to that, over break you need to talk to your mom about when her cumpleaños is, because that's important to know. Mi cumpleaños es el jueves. So I will be celebrating it, I hope, with my granddaughter in Virginia. So, si yo lo recuerdo or yo no lo recuerdo. Okay, that's all I have for today. Notice that I'm seeing that the time of my video is only 25 minutes. However, it should have taken you about double that, the 50 minutes of class, because I asked you to stop it several times and practice that. Now, feel free to go back and look at some of those examples, see if you can get them in a more flowing way, especially some of these questions. Sí, la quiero. Lo juego en el gimnasio. Sí, te veo. Sí, lo recuerdo. Saying it over, repeating that phrase, the sound of it, the rhythm of it, is very helpful as you practice, especially this concept. Always in Spanish it's always helpful, but especially this concept when the order is different than the way that we put that order in English. So, just as a reminder, the last slide has the next prueba de vocabulario y gramática. So it will have notice what it says for vocab, the months, the seasons, and the weather expressions. And then for vocab, those three types of things we've been talking about, those little pronouns, DOPs, so the lo, la, me, te, those kinds of things. The progressive, when someone is doing something right now. And then the ser versus estar concept. That will all be on the next prueba. Because I'm not there today, it will be in the next class, 38. I will have this on Blackboard. I actually already formatted it onto Blackboard, so let's do it like that because it will auto-correct most of them, and that will save some time. So bring your computadora to class with you, and you can be prepared for that for the next class. Eso es todo. Que tengan buenas vacaciones. Gracias. Adiós.